Hello and welcome. Once again, my name is Ford Chumley, and I am the specialty manager at GoldStar. Happy to be with you this evening for our second take, rolling out our new initiative, Grow, a virtual workshop for GoldStar's families, caregivers, and broader community looking to connect and expand our circle of care. At GoldStar, we strive to support each other and build connections for our community. Grow will provide articles, resources, and presentations from experts on the challenges and the beauty of the world of disabilities. Together, we will explore our strengths, differences, and the hardships we face. Quick note, please feel free to post any questions or comments you may have in the chat. And without further ado, let me pass this off to Rachel Porter, our Director of Business Operations. Hey, Rachel.
Hey. Hi. I think we've got, I think we're good. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in to Take Two of Grow. We are doing these presentations as part of a monthly workshop. And we definitely are just excited to roll this out. And so honestly, the best person to start with though is our very own founder and CEO, Katie Burpo. She has been working so much in the community, and we just want to hear really your story, Katie, and tell us a little bit about yourself, and we can go into how you started GoldStar. But yeah, I think a lot of people are wanting to hear your story and your journey.
Well, thank you guys so much. Ford, thank you so much for being here and introducing everything. Rachel, for leading the charge on Grow and being able to really reach out to you guys, the families. And so we have quite the experience. And I have been the last couple of years giving presentations and speeches and working with Infinity to get our message out to the community. So I have not been as nervous with investor groups and other CEOs and everything like that until this presentation, because this is me and they're all. And so really this is the true story that I really feel like you all can relate with, and knowing where we came from, why it's so imperative that we stay GoldStar strong, and it's what we stand for, and why this company was built and how it's built and structured. So leading into the story, it sounds unusual, but I chose what I wanted to do for my life when I was in second grade. And that is very, very true, that my sister has disabilities. And she is just past 33. We celebrated her birthday this weekend. And she is my pure inspiration. She is someone that started building my life when I actually got to see kind of the impact and how important it was. And we had a very special relationship. I don't want to say that I'm her favorite, but I think I'm her favorite. And so with Missy, she just always had such a mystery about her and how she speaks. And 30 years ago, there's not a lot that was available to our family. So it was me and my sister, and watching my parents pull together in every facet. It was absolutely so critical that we spend every moment outside of Missy talking about Missy and what she's talking about, what she's trying to say, who's got her on this day and this day. And you know, it's the family juggle. And so in second grade, I was able to go to a speech therapy session with her. And that was one of the very few therapies that was available. And so when I got to go, because she wouldn't go anywhere without me because I'm the favorite, then I got to see these exercises that I still remember today. And after I graduated college, I used them with other kiddos. And I was able to see her do things that she's not doing at home. Okay, so second grade, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna be a speech therapist. And pretty much everything that I did from that point on was surrounding that concept. I was waiting until I turned 16 so that I can get a job at a daycare center, because you really can't understand how to help disabilities unless you know without disabilities. And the only real experience I had up till that point was working with individuals with disabilities. And it's any kind of volunteered and all the time with Missy. So, but how is typical development? Well, all through that and continuing, going on my mission with college, I went into speech, language, hearing sciences. And in college, found a whole different avenue. Backing up from college, in high school, because this was completely my passion, my mission, I designed a business plan that modeled what GoldStar is today. And I got a C on it. I got a C. They said it was unrealistic and too ambitious. So take that with a grain of salt. And then honestly, I joined a competition, and it was for interpersonal communication. I won the state and national gold medal right here. And we have, and that kind of made some more of the problems outside of my own family very, very real. And that it's not just my family. It was kind of an eye-opener. And the fact that some other individuals in high school didn't understand the immense need. And I got a C on it, guys. I'm not holding on to it. It's fine. But then I graduated high school and went on to college. And that's where I found behavior intervention. Wow. Those two belong together. Speech, behavior. Oh, but then we had an OT. That was really important, because when I got to see all disciplines come together, I was like, ooh, this is the place to be. But they were missing a couple of pieces. That school aspect, truly the family at home aspect, there was still a gap there. So I finished my degree and went into the school districts, where I was a speech language pathologist assistant, and filling out my applications for grad school, thinking about where am I going to go. I had an opportunity to go to Arizona, but I had a stopping point. And I can't leave my family. I can't leave Missy. We're still in that realm of weekly meetings of what we're going to do, even after I moved out, and how we're going to navigate life. So no, I didn't go to Arizona.
Thank goodness.
And I didn't go to grad school here in Colorado either. And by the time I started learning what it was like to go into grad school, I had had several more opportunities. Schools. I lasted 3 years in the schools before I recognized this is not what I signed up for. This is not filling the need, and families need a little bit more help. There was a lot of red tape. There was so much I wanted to say about our families that the kids started doing in school, but a lot of red tape. I think you guys can understand how some of that feels sometimes. But being able to talk in IEP meetings and being able to join with my mom and my family, Missy and hers, I had a little bit of a background. So I had a bit of an advantage. So then I decided to leave the schools and found behavior again. Our lovely Lindsay Olson gave me the opportunity to really be a part of another agency that was speech and behavior focused. And I joined that agency as the director of behavior, kind of on that clinical side. And there was still a massive gap. So as I'm diving into those gaps, I learned, okay, now this industry is not hitting it. The families are still left behind. there's still no path, no easy path between school and family and school and agency and anywhere in between. Where's the circle of care? And so I thought, okay, maybe this is not the right path for me. Maybe it's not the right industry. So I really enjoy traveling. And so designed a business model for a travel agency. And my husband, he's like, this is great. You're not going to be happy. And that's very true. And that is where GoldStar actually came from.
Well, then tell us a little bit more about like GoldStar and just like starting that. Where did you get the name from GoldStar? You know, I think GoldStar is such a unique name. So can you tell us a little bit, give us a little bit more about GoldStar and starting that then?
Okay, so fun story.
From a travel agency to GoldStar. Here we go.
So we were launched tanked the travel agency idea and sticking with my passion. Thank you, Derek. And so then sitting there and writing name after name on what would be a really good defining factor for what we want to accomplish. Well, I was an in-home behavior interventionist at that time. And I was working with an individual who had a behavior plan that was earning some stars for those really great reinforcing items. And so the gold stars this individual would get for getting their tasks completely done and doing a good job and managing behaviors, using his tools. And it was very, very awesome. It was very powerful to see what was behind those gold stars. But then if he had a rough day, then it was a red star that he would get for that day. If he had his series of gold stars, then it was just the highest moment. And that day came to go do all of my names again. And he goes, I came to Derek and I said, oh my gosh, we reached all of our gold stars today. All the gold stars. And we earned blank. And so gold star. So then I was just excited and reminiscing about reading books. I love to read. And that I would earn these gold stars in elementary school. And you would earn so many and you get to have lunch with the teacher. And so I was thinking about those gold stars, the power of the gold stars. So we want to earn those gold stars. And with every avenue that you go forward, you get those gold stars, not the red ones, but you get the gold stars. But now gold star isn't really telling. And so we are lifelong learners, always. And I firmly believe that for every person. Disabilities or not, we're lifelong learners. So learning. But anyone who knows me, I'm not into the black and white. I don't think inside the box. I don't like the box. I hate the box. And so we always need options. Life is full of options. And so we are GoldStar Learning Options.
I love it. I think it's unique too, Katie. So like looking back, and today is actually GoldStar's 11-year anniversary, which is amazing. But like looking back at like all these different years and all the growth you've had, what do you think the biggest challenges were those first couple years, especially being a business owner, but then battling so much with like the restraints that the waivers, Medicaid puts on you? I know it's a lot to navigate. Like you said, red tape in the schools, there's still some red tape with everything. So what were some of the biggest challenges you felt like you faced as a business owner of GoldStar in the first couple of years?
Good question. And where to begin?
Right.
It is a battle that I am really geared up to continue facing and continue fighting for. And that is the gap of information. That there are so many families that don't know what's available to them. And so many higher level agencies that really govern the services that don't understand what providers are going through, nor the other governing agencies that they have to pair with. But how does that trickle down to what's available to a family?
Mm-hmm.
from diagnosis or any sort of trauma throughout life, what do the transitions look like? What are your options? We know the standard options. You can go to school. Now behavior is a therapy. That's awesome. And there are other avenues of intervention, but how does it really get to the families? How do we get to those first responders? How do we get to the pediatricians, to the school, to everyone who a parent might look at and say, this is what's happening. What do I do? Where do I go? So what is the choice? What are your options? And so I think that is something that is still a challenge today. And one thing that we have done to address that in the last 11 years, and Rachel is a very, very good model of this. And it's really helping our team on the inside understand that circle of care, understand that cross training, understand what's available and how to think outside the box to customize something that a family needs. If you're a human being, you don't generally fit inside a box. There's going to be unique variables. And so being able to address that in a unique way with a wide variety of services or options, and being able to gain that traction and help not just people at GoldStar, but the community understand, rally behind that, understand that this is not just the stopgap. You need to create that continuum of care. And that's outside of other business owner stuff. That's the biggest gift.
Well, I think that's what's so amazing about you and what you've done with GoldStar is like where the need is, you make it happen to fill that need. And that's where we've started so many different programs and departments and different things just because there's so much need out there and there's only more growth. That's why, like, you know, latest has been Starbound Academy for a facility school. There is a need for that. And there's just so many needs and so many different ways to puzzle piece it all together in a way that works for families. You know, it's huge. And so I think, like, you know, being here at GoldStar for so long, I definitely felt that it was always just, you know, jigsaw puzzle, just making it all work though for the greater good of our family. So I praise you for that. And kind of on that note, Katie, though, all right, a little birdie told me that you are putting a book into the works. So can you tell us a little bit about this book and what it's about?
Yes, a little bit. So it is. I've been putting together not just my story, but the story of others. And some of it comes from what really initiated not just Missy, but certain families that inspired to bridge a gap in such a huge way that really speaks to what a kid needs, what an adult needs. And we need to put that out there so that we can really speak the strength of this community and why it is important and resonates in this world. Disabilities are not going away. Dual diagnosis is only going to become more prevalent. And so how do we help people? How do we get those first responders to understand? And growing up in a family with disabilities, it changes your heart and changes your perspective. But then being a part of my own family and having my own children and discovering, something's not right. I could feel that as a mom for the first time. And I was in that place. And so reaching out to advocate, and I speak the language, and how difficult it was to find the right kind of intervention. And without GoldStar, where would my son go? He wasn't the classic inside the box. He needed a different kind of intervention. Our family did. And really, he needed it. And so even backing up before my son, finding someone to join our little army and knowing when I met Derek and being very transparent that, hey, this is us and you take it or leave it. And I'm grateful to say he took on the whole challenge, but as a sibling of someone with a disability, you share that with anyone you invite into your life. That's friends, that's family, that's a partner. And so seeing where that goes it's really amazing because it just makes you stronger, makes you tighter as a group. And knowing that there could be some day that we're going to live with Missy, or she's going to live with us, or we're going to be helping with her care, no matter what that looks like. Now, when I met Derek, I didn't know some of the other options out there as an adult. But as she grows, as she ages, we just learn more and more every day. But always fighting that communication gap and fighting for what's right, it's going to be on a much bigger level. So that is the premise of the book. But I'm using humor, guys. It's really funny because you got to make light of certain things, because how many people don't have a funny story that they can relate in some way with their family? Got tons.
Well, we're definitely excited. I know it's a stay tuned, still in the beginning works, but I think it's exciting. And I think there's just so much room for families to learn more about you, but just a way to also just grow the community of just talking about everything. There's so many different facets to what our families go through. And I think it's going to really bridge that gap of communication and just talking more about it. So I'm excited. So I would love to know a little bit more of like different ways too that we can like get involved between GoldStar, and I really want to like kind of dive into more like a little bit with Infinity. I think like too, a lot of people don't know like that you and your husband Derek are like in this community together being amazing advocates. So can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, and that's a super fun story too. So after Derek was able to kick me in the pants and say, you know what, you're not going to be happy running a Cakes Travel, it was a cute concept, then why not keep reaching further? I have been in this world since second grade. I don't have business training, and just in it for making a difference and making something right that just doesn't bridge the gaps. And so as GoldStar grew and got bigger, a little bit more established, it was recognized that there are other business owner type things that don't fit into just that clinical side, that are not just family. And that in that realm, I had been asking Derek for a couple of years to see if he would share his operational experience. And he finally decided and chose to leave his career to join GoldStar, to really focus on that operations aspect and that business piece of it. And so it was in that time that he came across GoldStar Foundation. If anybody who's been around since then, it was confusing.
Very confusing.
And
it was super confusing.
And GoldStar needed my attention. And so GoldStar Foundation wasn't able to fill the need that it was built for. It was originally built to have the 3 programs as still exist today. And that's to bridge the gap from funding, to bridge the gap for programs and supports that are not funded by the state, so that agencies can still thrive with those programs and provide that quality, and also for emergency funds. There are so many things that we had dedicated ourselves, our volunteer time, our money to be able to help support, because what are the other options? There weren't. So that's where the nonprofit came from. So when Derek came across that, he was able to put in some of the operational processes on GoldStar side, but he said, hey, a lot of the issues that you're having can really be addressed with the nonprofit. Can I take it over? And sure enough, I mean, not knowing the nonprofit world and climbing that ladder and going uphill with that, he was able to change it from confusing GoldStar Foundation, that's not GoldStar Learning Options, to Infinity Foundation, because really that's what we're trying to do, is trying to create that continuum, that circle.
Yep.
So being able to have Derek reach out to the community and really expand what that knowledge looks like from a different lens has been really, really great for this community, this population, and for what we're trying to lead. And it's not just with GoldStar, that there are a couple of agencies that are also in that same boat. Why? Because the problems are there, they exist. And if we can use Infinity to help fill that gap, that respite gap, that emergency care, that emergency wheelchair, hey, I need to move.
Yep.
How does a family do that with limited resources? So that's why Infinity is there. And that's why Derek and I have chosen really to dedicate every ounce of what we have to making this work and make a change.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I think that's a big piece of this, is that one thing that you always showed me throughout the years too, is that our families like are in a position too where it's like, you know, they have to work, but what if you don't have care? And it's like this delicate balance always of like, you got to work, but you got to take care of your child or adult, you know? And so it's just a delicate balance with our families. And there's so much financial need out there, and too with our adults even. I mean, like Infinity's been huge in saving, like we've had a family that was facing homelessness and like all that. So like it's a huge need. And so it's just like something I just love for people to know more, that you guys are just paving the way and just trying to be out here changing the world and our community. So I love that. I think that you have created a lot of opportunities, and in a way, endless opportunities for our families. And I think too, speaking to is that what Katie has developed here at GoldStar is lifespan services. And I think that's such a huge piece of like what this puzzle looks like, is you're all about the lifespan services and just making sure that we're there for every part of a family's like stuttering for words, but yeah, just part of their child's journey to adulthood. And if they start with us and as adult, perfect. We're hanging on to them for dear life the rest of their life. So I think that's the beauty of GoldStar and what you created, Katie. So I thank you for all that. I think that.
Well, and that's a good point. You know, every program that does develop, and those have been with us for a little while, can really understand that, like, okay, well, this is starting out. Okay, this is going to be a little different. And sorry for some of the changes. And, you know, maybe in high school, that teacher was right. It is ambitious. And it really is very important to understand how much it creates a way to services. It creates something to happen. And so all of our programs really develop until you just can't avoid the gap as much. And so that's when a new program, okay, all right, I'm done, we're going to start it. And that's where actually our Starbound team came from. And 5 years ago, we had the conversations of, okay, do we need to start the educational aspect? Do we really go official and start this school? Well, it wasn't the right time then. And this last year showed us it's the right time now. It is the right time. The gaps are getting too big and you just can't avoid it anymore. And so, but what does that look like? It's not the typical outside of district placement. We're really looking to get that change and have the schools back us and have us back the schools in any avenue. It's just not placement or not. What are the options? I kind of like that.
I like that too. And we've got an incredible team. So like shout out to like such an incredible team of people that are passionate to be in this field, to work with the population. So it's just, we've got some amazing team members too, who saw the need too. So shout out to Chelsea, who saw the need. And, you know, we're like, let's make this happen and bridge yet another gap, you know, out there. And so I'm excited because I think if we, you know, I'll put it on you. What else can we look forward to, Katie, for the near future?
Well, we still have a whole lot of bridges to build.
Yes.
But one thing that I'm actually so immensely proud of is this team that's here. I mean, we have a powerhouse of a team, and that's from the front end and the back end. It's, you know, so many behind the scenes work has to be done, and that it's not necessarily known by any of those governing bodies, and they really do need to know. And so through the book and through making sure that services are a little bit more accessible, I'm really excited that we are working very, very hard to try to work on our very first permanent location on the north end of Denver, and then create a second location on the south end of Denver, and then expand that to other places in Colorado where there's just a need. And that's Colorado Springs is really, really wanting and asking daily for us to go down there. Grand Junction is a huge gap. And so being able to provide a support for families and not have to leave what they know, to be able to continue going forward and be able to just to bridge that gap. But we're going to need a long bridge, and there's a ways to go, but we're not done yet. We are absolutely going to continue this moving forward. I'm very, very excited.
Absolutely. It's onward and upward. So Katie, I think we've, yeah, onward and upward. Well, I appreciate you sharing with us your story. I think, like I said, a lot of people just don't know why Katie started GoldStar, and that piece is missing. And your own journey with your son and just Derek and all those moving pieces have led to all the different programs and all the different needs as we continue to grow at GoldStar with all the different services. So it's exciting, and I appreciate you. Any other last thoughts?
Well, I appreciate you as families, that being able to entrust someone with your child, your adult, and be able to hone in. That's something that we're never going to stop doing, is trying to reach that quality of care and really have the best people who are so passionate to make a difference. But, and that's in the employees also. We want to make sure that our employees know that this is not that college side job, that this can be a place that you can grow your career and truly grow in so many different avenues.
Absolutely.
From that direct care, the clinical piece, the administrative side, anybody that's super into numbers, that's what billing's all about. And honestly, and we can't do it without the support of our employees, without the support of you guys and families. And I thank you. And thank you for letting me be vulnerable with you guys all today.
Thank you. Ford, did you get any questions?
I did, yes. So we have one question from Sandy, who wanted to know, will GoldStar be involved in residential services for adults in any way?
Ooh. Good question, Sandy.
Okay, Sandy. Okay, tiny little secret about me. I think in pictures. And I know that is a book by Temple Grandin as well. But I really do. And so I have a little black notebook that I have my future visions of something that it's not just the right time yet. So it's not out of the question, but I don't think that there's anything that's really out of the question when it comes to this population. When I see that gap and I know how to address it and I know how to approach it, there's going to be a time that I'm going to be like, all right, fine. We're going residential. It's not yet, though.
Not yet.
Good question.
Great, yeah, great question. There's a huge need for residential. We do know that.
All right. Well, I don't see any other questions. I would like to leave another minute or two if anyone has any questions. And I would also like to send a quick reminder to everybody about the Infinity Foundation Casino Gala happening this Saturday, February 5th, 6 to 9 p.m. at Wings Over the Rockies Museum. Just wanted to give a quick reminder about that, but I don't see any other questions. And I think we're good to go. So Katie and Rachel, thank you guys so much. And thank you everyone who was here to join in on this presentation. It will be posted as a video on the Grow Facebook group page for anyone to watch in the future. So yeah, thank you guys so much.
Well, thank you, Ford. And also, thank you for giving that shout out to the Infinity Gala and what the proceeds, our goal is to reach $50,000 to support extended summer programming. And that is for children through adulthood. And in this day and our new ever-changing world, costs have gone extremely high, and we want to continue being able to make our summers happen for our kids through adulthood and give those community experiences. And we have already had a significant amount of planning within the summertime realm. It begins in December and it is in full force January, February. So you guys will be seeing more of that, but the Infinity Gala will be able to support every program that we have here at GLOW, as well as families who are not eligible for some of the funding and need it. So that is what all proceeds go for. So we're really looking for that 50,000, and I can also post the link up in Grow and email it out as well. So thank you. Thank you so much for your time and for joining us tonight, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thanks everybody. We'll be seeing you. Bye.